From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, March 18th. After a mild and dry start, rain is moving in around noon, and widespread rain, maybe some storms in the later afternoon hours. Low levels of severe weather threats, so just be mindful of that. If you haven't already, download the Wish TV weather app to get all of the alerts to your phone. You can fine-tune it, and it can send you those alerts regarding where you live and what alerts you want to see. Also this morning, we're following a fatal accident at 106th Street on Keystone Parkway, at 106th Street, I should say. It shut down the southbound lanes of Keystone Parkway while investigators are there looking at the accident and cleaning everything up. So that's going to be a mess for quite some time right now for those commuters. There are workarounds there. We always have you covered on wishtv.com for all of that news. Police in Plainfield tell us that the fire there is still smoldering this morning. Crews are working around the clock at the distribution center. We're told the efforts will carry throughout the morning. Crews are talking about the process of figuring out what started the fire as well.
Having to constantly move water, spray water, it's just a lot of time on our feet, a lot of movement, repetitive movement and stuff. And then the time just weighs on you. Even though people think you're just throwing water, it does take a lot of effort and a lot of time to get everything set up, as well as break it all down and get your apparatus back in service.
And we're hearing gratitude from the employees themselves. Some workers we spoke with attribute their escape to the emergency training they had just a few days before the fire.
We thought it was another training until we were out and we saw the black smoke coming out from the roof.
We didn't see smoke when we were outside, and then when we heard the noise, which was like a crisp explosion, that's when we got scared and we all started running.
We talked to people as they were allowed back to the property to get their vehicles and any personal belongings possible. And with the distribution center destroyed, I-Team 8 looked into how the fire could impact Plainfield's economy. It turns out it won't have much of one. After some digging, the I-Team discovered that the building is leased to Wal-Mart from a real estate investment company. Because of tax breaks and the district it's in, the taxes the company pays for the building are designated for infrastructure like roads, water, and sewer. The money doesn't cover police and fire service. The city would not comment on the matter. And as far as the income taxes from the 1,000 employees at the facility, unless they live in Hendricks County, their tax dollars go to their counties of residence. And state officials expect air conditions to improve today there in Hendricks, Hamilton, Boone, and Marion counties. The fire smoke plume triggered air quality alerts in those communities. Even though skies look clear, officials with the Indiana Department of Environmental Management are concerned about tiny particles lingering in the air from the fire at the Wal-Mart distribution center. They say dust, soot, and chemicals are now mixed in the air and can be bad for your lungs. IDEM is asking people to not burn firewood, trash, or light any unnecessary fires. IU's magical run to the NCAA tournament ended before it even really got started. The team lost in the first round in Portland to St. Mary's yesterday, 82-53. Indiana started the first half with a lead before St. Mary's really took over. They even had a 34-point lead in parts of the second half. Post-game, Coach Woodson says no excuses to close his first season back in Bloomington.
I've never been a coach that makes excuses. I had to do better tonight to get these guys, and I give St. Mary's all the credit, man, but I thought tonight we just didn't have it, and I know we're a much better team than we showed tonight, and that's on me. Traveling had nothing to do with it. It's what it is, man. We're happy to be in the big dance and getting this opportunity.
And an unlikely source made the highlight reel with a lighter moment. 2 IU cheerleaders helped get the game back in action after the ball got stuck behind the backboard. Players and referees tried freeing it first. Nathan Paris and Cassidy Cerny used their skills to launch Cerny high enough to reach the ball. Our Charlie Clifford talked with the pair.
It did not feel real. I feel like a lot of times when things like that happen, we joke about going out there and helping.
What if we had to go do it then?
But when it actually happens, wait. But I was jokingly being like, I'll go get it. Someone put me up. And then I actually went up.
What do you think your phones are going to look like when you're able to look at them post-game?
My mom is going to go crazy.
Yeah, my parents actually came here from Indiana for the game today, so they got to see it live. But I'm sure it'll be crazy.
Both cheerleaders are Indiana natives. Cerny is from Avon. Paris is out of Floyd's Knobs. And one Indiana team down. 2 remain, though. 11th seed Notre Dame takes on 6th seed Alabama at 4:15 today. Before that, Purdue takes the court with Yale at 2 o'clock. News 8's Olivia Ray reports from Milwaukee.
Welcome to Pfizer Forum, where the Boilers got their first chance at taking the floor ahead of their Friday matchup against number 14 seed Yale. Now, the Bulldogs have long awaited their opportunity at their own Cinderella story because, remember, Yale's Ivy League season was canceled altogether last year. However, the number 3 Boilers are all too familiar with that narrative after they were stunned in the opening round last year against number 13 North Texas. So fast forward to Thursday, where the Boilers were poised at practice and embracing those past experiences, getting ready to crack open that heartbreak that they've had bottled up since last March.
If you don't learn from your losses, then you're a fool. And that's all I was trying to do is like, hey, let's learn from our loss of North Texas and use it as a springboard for next year and put ourselves in a great position, which I think we have.
We've watched film on that game pretty much all summer. And that was kind of our drive and our motivation, becoming a team that we were or that we are. And, it still motivates us to this day. And you appreciate experiences like that because now that they know how it feels, I believe it's going to drive not only them, but, our team.
So it all starts here for Purdue at 2 o'clock on Friday in Milwaukee. This time around for Purdue, though, favored by 16.5 over Yale in the round of 64. For now, reporting from Pfizer Forum, I'm Olivia Ray, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
State police say a woman was shot while driving down I-70 in Indianapolis. According to troopers, the 21-year-old then crashed into the center wall on I-70 near 465 and Post Road. It happened at about 2 yesterday afternoon. ISP says the victim is from Grant County. Medics took her to the hospital. Police have not said how badly she's hurt. Troopers say a man riding in her car was not shot. There's no description of a suspect or a suspect vehicle. Police in Anderson say they arrested people in connection to the shooting of an 18-year-old man. Officers have not said how many people are accused. They say they caught more than one suspect after a chase that involved multiple agencies. It ended north of Anderson near Alexandria. According to police, someone shot the man on Fletcher Street just before 3 yesterday afternoon. Medics took him to the hospital. Police say he is stable. In the war in Ukraine, former Indiana politician Evan Bayh says his son was deployed to Europe as part of the American response to Russia's invasion. He shared the announcement on social media yesterday, saying he is proud of him and all members of our armed service forces for defending freedom and opposing tyranny. May God be with them. Bayh served as a Democratic senator, governor, and secretary of state. An American man was killed in a Russian attack on a city in northern Ukraine. Family members reported Jim Hill's death yesterday. He was from Idaho. Hill's sister says he was waiting in a bread line with several other people when they were gunned down by Russian forces.
We don't know where my brother's body is. So that kind of closure the family won't have right now.
According to Ukrainian officials, 10 people were killed in the attack. The U.S. State Department confirmed the death of an American but didn't identify him. Hill is at least the second U.S. civilian killed in the war in Ukraine. American officials say 726 Ukrainian civilians have been killed since fighting began last month. According to the United Nations, that number includes 52 children. Nearly 1,200 more civilians are hurt. Officials say the actual numbers are likely much higher. A bill to suspend trade relations with Russia and Belarus is on its way to the Senate. Lawmakers in the U.S. House passed the proposal yesterday. Russia currently has most favored nation status, meaning lower tariffs and fewer restrictions. Last week, President Joe Biden said he was asking for the removal of that status. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he will work quickly to get the bill passed. Moderna is asking the FDA to authorize a second COVID booster shot for everyone 18 and older. The company would need an amendment of the FDA's emergency use authorization for its mRNA vaccine. It would need to allow a fourth dose for adults who have had an initial booster of approved vaccines. Moderna said the request is based partly on recent data out of the U.S. and Israel that came after Omicron emerged. As we did report earlier this week on Wish TV, Pfizer and BioNTech have also asked for emergency use authorization for an additional booster. That application was only for people 65 and older. And the CDC is no longer recommending most people wear masks inside. Right now, just 1.7 million people live in counties where masking is recommended. 3 weeks ago, 28% of the population lived in counties that had high community levels of COVID. It's now at less than 1%. However, when you only look at positive test results, the data shows more than half the counties in the country still have high transmission rates. And that is the metric the agency had used previously for masking recommendations. Canada will no longer require COVID-19 tests for fully vaccinated travelers to enter the country starting next month. The federal government made the announcement yesterday, as 80% of the country is now fully vaccinated. The change goes into effect on April 1st. And today, a groundbreaking ceremony for a new project in downtown Noblesville. The mayor's office says Federal Hill Apartments is a $50 million project, and it'll include more than 200 apartment units, 31,000 feet of retail space, and 200 parking garage spaces for public use. Today's ceremony is going to be at the Federal Hill Commons Market Plaza near Nixon Street. It starts at 1 this afternoon. And tomorrow, Indianapolis is hosting the first Supercross with fans since before the pandemic. An organizer for the event joined us on Daybreak this morning, and he said that he and the riders are so excited to welcome fans back into Lucas Oil Stadium. You can find tickets online right now. Just go to Ticketmaster, wherever you get your tickets, and get your tickets to go sit in the stands, watch some Supercross. They looked awesome on Daybreak this morning. Also starting tomorrow, the Children's Museum of Indianapolis is opening its Grand Dinosphere exhibit. It is new and improved. It's massive. It's so cool. We also had somebody from the museum on Daybreak this morning talking about it, showing us around. It looks so neat. So again, tomorrow, that Dinosphere exhibit opens to the general public. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.